to know each other and seem to be building with each other, and we're not there. The U.S. artists are kind of like, yeah, we're on our own thing.
Very few, and that's a shame. I mean, that's a shame. That's just how it is, you know. But there's only a very few. I mean, to be honest, I think that. Like you talk about Eminem, for instance. I love Eminem music and all these things, but mainstream hip-hop in the United States has to respond to an economical logic, I think you say, which means that, you know, it has to bring money back, and it's not, well, when you play in Africa or Brazil that you bring money back inside the game, you know.
Yeah, but MV Bill's performing in front of 100,000 people. Yeah. You know, I mean, that's huge.
They're not very rich, you know. I mean, you know, we've just opened for him in Rio de Janeiro like a few months ago and stuff, and he's a great act. I mean, it's wicked what he does, but you know, American artists, we don't see them over there. I mean, you talk about Dead Prez, for instance. I mean, Michael Franti, for instance, does that, and people do that. And also, I mean, as far as I know, as far as I've met some American artists, they're very nice, very sweet people, and all these things. But most of the time, they're a bit paranoid. You know, going outside the US, even in France, you know, I've met some people coming to perform in France. They don't talk to anyone in the streets and stuff. They're, you know, maybe because in America some people have guns and stuff, which is not happening in Europe, you know, for instance. But sometimes they're a bit paranoid.
Is it paranoid or arrogant? You could say it's arrogant because, you know, I see that all the time. But I do know a lot of artists really paranoid. Like,
yeah, I think it's just we don't know these people. We don't speak their language, and you know.
One of the things I notice, a lot of artists, they come to these countries, they look for the McDonald's, they're not trying to eat the Lebanese food or the Brazilian food or whatever, and of course everybody blinks their PlayStation, and then of course everybody goes and plays their PlayStation in a hotel room, and I'm like, man, you know, how you gonna...
That's right. Well, you know, maybe that's right. I mean, you can't talk of everyone. I mean, some people maybe will listen to that and say, well, I would love to go to Beirut and have some local food and stuff like that, you know, but you can't talk about everyone. But maybe you're right, you know, that they prefer their PlayStation to the real game that's going on in the streets right down their hotel, you know.
Something to think about. Clotaire.
You know, on the other hand, sometimes it's not that easy to go touring these places because in this last year, for instance, we had through our tourings we had a coup attempt. It was in Kinshasa in Congo. We had a bomb attack. We had a flood. We had a plane crash. Almost. I mean, we've gone.
What you went through?
Yeah, we went through this year. You know, there's loads of things happening, which is an adventure.
But to listen to some of the artists, which is ironic. Here we are in Beirut, right? What's intriguing to me is that there have been so many artists in the United States that have rapped about Beirut. As you said, Eminem talks about, I'm going to go touring in Beirut, and he's shooting guns up, and you got people like Noriega and those guys. First they got the name Noriega, then they're calling like their crew the Beirutians, and I mean, you know, or they're making mention to it like they have romanticized this violence, and they have referenced Beirut as a sign of toughness, and so you're going, okay, well, come on out here and tour. Come hang out with Clotaire K. And
not especially with me, but I mean when I was talking to my girlfriend the other day and saying, you know, Eminem says go to Beirut and do a show there. Well, come on, you're welcome here. I mean, if he comes there, he would love it, and he wouldn't want to go after that, and people would love him as well, you know.
But I guess the tough talk, they're not living up to that tough talk.
I don't know, it's maybe a question of tough money, rather.
Put out the challenge to Eminem.
That's the challenge to Eminem. Come to Beirut. Well, you know, I appreciate that. And lastly, you know, I'm sitting here. I was just in Montreal hanging out with a bunch of the artists. I was in London the other day hanging out with
Roots Maneuver and stuff?
No, not Roots Maneuver, but I was hanging out with my man Twilight and all those guys. So there's some folks that I was rolling with. But
very good.
Yeah, it's real big over there. But I only had a day, you know, to hang out there. But the point that I'm looking at is that I've come across a lot of artists, and none of y'all have bling. I mean, you know, where's your gold chain, man? You should have a G-Unit spinner around your neck or something. You know, no diamond encrusted earrings. What's going on with the lack of bling? No, and I'm asking that seriously because you a lot of y'all don't seem to go in that direction.
Right. Well, I'm a bit ashamed about this, but I should maybe try to rearrange that. But you know. When I perform, I mean that's the main thing for me, because I'm an independent artist. I'm not that famous and stuff like that. I like to perform in front of people. I like to do my thing, but I don't want everybody to run after me saying, "I see you've been singing. You were on stage and stuff like that." I just do my thing. So I like when I go, for instance, when you go to Brazil, nobody knows when Brazil, or when you go to Africa or loads of places in Europe as well. You go there, nobody knows about me, and they know that there's a kind of rapper, Middle East something music going on stage in a while and stuff, and then you go on stage and you don't have that bling, nobody notices you. That's great. And then you go on stage and you do your stuff, and then you get off the stage and people are like, wow, and that's cool, and you don't have to wear the bling to do that.
That's a lesson a lot of artists should be learning. Buy land instead of diamonds.
It's nice to have blings. It's nice,
I think we should own land, but I want to thank you, Clotaire. He's being very honest. I mean, modest when he's like, yeah, nobody knows me, but I got off here, and they was like, yeah, okay, nobody knows you. You're right. Just, they know you now. And that's a good thing. So we've been talking to Clotaire K. I want to thank you. We are here in Beirut. It's definitely a nice city, and let me never make the mistake of saying we were sitting by the lake when it's the Mediterranean Sea. I feel really ashamed, and
if American people listen to that, I mean, it's a very nice place to come on holidays here nowadays, because it's quite safe. I mean, there's nothing to fear really. You'll be very well welcomed by the people. Most of them speak English, and on top of this, it's not very expensive, and the food is great. And
there's a McDonald's right around the corner.
Yeah, there is one. Sometimes it gets bombed.
Does it really?
It happened once. So that's why the Burger King, if you notice, the Burger King has in the middle, in front of the Burger King, there's a Burger King flag, and on both sides there's two Lebanese flags.
Really? That is true, huh? So wow.
It's not this way, it's this way, I think, but So
that's what's going on.
So that means, it's a Burger King, but still it's a Lebanese Burger King, so please don't bomb us,
Something to think about there. Well, there you have it. And finally, how can people get a hold of you? You got a website or anything?
Yeah, there's a website which is www.clotairek.com, which is CLOTAIREK.com.
There you go. We out for now. Peace.
Bam boum, l'estomac criblé de loucoulement direct. Je m'éjecte et pulvérise sur les insectes.
Sous nom de Clotaire.
Juste un homme dans le rôle du ver dans la pomme. Représente contre une société puante. Sur la mauvaise, on doit arriver sur la détente parce qu'il nous manque pour de l'argent.
Ne jette que des miettes,
nous manipule avec du vent. Tactique, esthétique pour écouler leur stock d'armes automatiques. La balistique charcue trop de pays. Dirige tous les conflits, les allume, éteignent et n'élimine que ceux qui craignent. Alors guise dans le sang, baigne nos enfants. Mais tôt ou tard tout se paye inévitablement. À force d'écraser la masse pour que s'efface la menace avec le temps qui passe. Ce sont les mutants qui la remplacent. À fouler des fruits, ça finit par semer des graines. Et nos arbres qui germent finalement refilent la gangrène.
système
qui veut qu'on le prenne comme modèle suprême, quand bien même il nous entraîne vers une fracture mondiale. L'intolérance ne gommera pas nos différences. Je suis et je pense face à tant d'ignorance. N'acceptons pas d'une vie jetable comme un rasoir, ni dans le temps, ni dans l'espace, sans aucune place pour l'espoir, ni même de respect pour les autres races.
de l'eau dans la face que le feu trépasse.
Sache que la force est entre les mains de celui qui s'oppose, celui qui ose armer ses frères avec sa seule, détenir les clés du savoir et pourtant peu de choses devant un ennemi qui lui propose tant de dollars.
Accessoire,
Puissance acquise par tant de mépris, érigée sur des corps qui gisent. Vous me taxez de tiers, mais je suis un monde à part entière qui prépare son éveil dans le silence de la prière. Dans le silence de la prière. MLK, Yamalake, Martin Luther King, que de mettre sur la terre des esclaves. Respirer la paix, inspirer le respect, détenir la clé de nos entraves et qu'en Cassius Clay.
comme un brave.
Monter sur le ring, montrer qui est le king, le gars de l'oppression résonnait ding. Mais le système a trouvé la parade, la sourdine, plus rien ne bouge, personne ne se se mutine. Même le nouveau-né éduqué par la télé le sait, ce qu'il lui faut c'est du blé. Cache de la monnaie. Et si ça vire à la menace, on lui met des flingues sous le nez de la coque pour le griller, du toc pour le vriller. Touché, coulé, accro à ce système qui a fait de la planète un ghetto. Conscient que le dernier rang est pour bientôt, je me tiens à carreau, demeure fidèle à mon cerveau. M'oppose à tous ceux qui sonnent faux chez Big Bro. Le trône du fric, assis sur une bombe à retardement. Tic, tac, lentement mais sûrement se dirige tout droit devant vers la fin de son temps. Boum, bon, mais c'est un rêve qui tourne au cauchemar. Un autre rempart qui cèdera tôt ou tard sous le coup de boutoir des tiers qui en ont marre. Faut y croire, c'est bien ainsi que l'on fait bouger l'histoire.